Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another Pike and Shot battle, the Dunes 1658. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys read the right side because I don't want to waste too much time in the beginning of this video. But essentially, this is a user-generated content battle. The great thing about Pike and Shot is users can make their very own campaigns, as long as it relates back to, obviously, the time of the English Civil War, the 30 Years' War, etc. And in this case, we are fighting in the Dunes. We are actually going to be fighting as the New Model Army under Parliament against some Spanish defenders, Catholic defenders, of course. And we have to do our absolute best. Now, as you guys can see, this battle also already looks absolutely awesome. Our force looks great. We're going to get started immediately. And we are actually, interesting. So it looks like we're playing as the French against the Spanish. Interesting. And we're going to go ahead and start moving. I guess this is actually a force of French, French, Austrian, German, and a few Irish and English troops, all under one army. I guess this would be the Protestant army that we are using. And what we're going to do is go ahead and move forward here as quickly as we can. We've got some very interesting units, commanded shot units, which should be able to help us get some shots off on the enemy. And I definitely want to go ahead and get in this wooded area to get some great defensive bonuses. But I'm just amazed at the actual size of this battle. It really is awesome, and I love that users are able to make this kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, as for our spearmen, I'm going to probably start to move them over here, form a better line, and for my horsemen, or my cavalry in this case, I'm going to send them into the woods, because I want to try to basically surprise the Spanish. And the reason that this battle was called the Dunes was that the Spanish actually have a sort of advantage here. They're supposed to have an uphill advantage. I don't know how the game is going to do that. Oh yeah, look at that hill. That's awesome. And essentially they have this uphill advantage on the dunes, and we have to surpass those dunes. Now historically, we did manage to do that, or I should say the English, the French, etc., Protestants managed to actually do that. Whether or not I'll be able to recreate that is not something I can say right now. As you can see, they also put in the new redcoat units, which were added under the new model army. Parliament created them. So now we have the standard English redcoat units. These must be our English troops, which is pretty awesome. And we're going to continue moving forward. Our commanded shot is really going to allow us to get some nice shots off on the enemy at long range, but we're not quite close enough. And I hope that the enemy will go ahead and push forward like we are. I don't want them to stay in place, because that's just going to mean we have to move up all of these dunes all on our own, and that's not going to be easy. One thing I love about Pike and Shot, I have to say, is the fact that it reminds me so much of, like, the Warhammer board game that I used to play. You know, people don't really play that anymore. You really have to, like, go to certain places to find people that play. But this is sort of, I would say, the PC equivalent, in that you have these sort of units that, you know, have certain hit point values, etc. And they're stacked up. They look like they're on a board game set. It looks like this is all created by some awesome designer to basically allow friends to play at Games Workshop or something like that. Of course, this is not quite the same thing, but I really do get the same feeling, and I regularly play PBEM on this because it's so fun. So let's go ahead. We're going to get this cavalry to attack over here on the left side. Pretty standard. I kind of feel like taking most of these cavalry and moving them over there to the woods, but I'm not sure if I should trust my gut instinct. As you can see here, the enemy does have spearmen, but they also have some cavalry units. I think I'm going to do exactly that. So I'm going to go ahead and move some of these cavalry towards the woods to attack them from the right flank, and really try to slam into the enemy's right flank if we can. We'll also move these spearmen up, because why not? They're going to help us. And let's continue. Sorry, guy, you're going to have to wait till next turn. Actually, you could just do that. And send one more cavalry unit up there, but for the most part, we should send these guys over to the right. Just a feeling I get. You know, there's a wooded area over there. Perfect place to form an ambush, or to form even a nice cavalry charge on unsuspecting enemies. So I think we're going to do that. And for now, should we move our cannons up? I think we should. Let's try to move them up. Oh, we can't move them. We have to limber them first, and I don't feel like limbering them very well. We'll end the turn, guys, and see essentially what happens. Alright, there's a residual shooting phase. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody's going to be shooting except our own ships, which is awesome. We do get the support of the English fleet, and that's certainly going to help. And look at that. We actually already disrupted an enemy unit. The Spanish are in for quite a fight. There's a melee phase. Not going to be anything happening there. But let's see if the Spanish will advance on us. That would be really cool. I doubt they're going to do that. I didn't think so. So they're staying put and just holding their position, and we need to continue advancing up the dunes. Alright, it is a French turn. Now we will continue our attack. Obviously, I'm going to want our spearmen in the front lines here. I don't mind moving this commanded shot up on this hill here, just so we can get some shots off on the enemy. Let's hit this veteran tercio. Nothing I like more than trying to kill as many of the veteran tercio troops as I can. That's pretty awesome. We've got some English detached musketeers, and we'll go ahead and open fire there. And let's just try to focus fire on these units if we can. Of course, I also want to try to draw the enemy out. So if I can get these veteran tercios to force the enemy to move forward with their pikemen, you know, that's going to be fun too. Let's keep moving forward with these guys. Our veteran pike and shot, I really want to get them into the battle. And let's also move forward with our horsemen. I'm not sure if we can command the English fleet directly, but if we can, wow, yes, we can. We're definitely going to go ahead and use them against the enemy. So I guess they only get one shot. That makes sense. Let's go ahead and see what else we can do. Very standard movement up the center here, honestly. I'm not trying to be crazy. Here we go. Can we get any shots off? Nice. Gonna fire on some detached musketeers. We completely missed, but in the age of flintlocks, this sort of gun, or not flintlocks, what are these called? Are they flintlock muskets? You know, obviously accuracy was not perfect. Certainly wasn't perfected yet. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a shot with these guys. Sadly, no. Let's move the commanded shot up, and we can definitely fire on the detached musketeers, but once again, we're going to miss. We may just be barely out of range, and our shots are not going to get there. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with our dragoons. And actually, I kind of want to take that back, but it's a bit too late for that because they're not in the woods, and that means the enemy is going to see that. So we'll go ahead and move forward with our commanded shot as well, and sort of form a little guerrilla force here where we just try to hit the enemy. That's not good. The dragoons responded pretty well, and let's bring this spearman unit up to support that unit. In case the dragoons attack, we'll have a spearman unit ready to absolutely gouge their horses' eyes out and cause mass panic in their lines. For now, we'll go ahead and continue. In fact, they'll probably see this attack coming, and maybe they'll respond to it. If they don't, it's going to give us a perfect opportunity to jump into these woods near the canal and then hit them from the right side. So either way, I'm happy here, and we'll move these guys up too. Wow, this is an incredibly huge battle. I think so far, the battles that the users have made are actually better than the battles that the developers have made, at least in terms of scale. This is a huge battle, and I don't think this battle even had that many men in it compared to a lot of the other conflicts in the game, so it is pretty awesome. There's a lot to focus on, a lot to think about. We'll go ahead and keep moving these guys up. And eventually we're going to just have to limber this artillery and move it up. I think we'll go ahead and limber it and move it next turn, because right now it's not going to be able to do anything to the enemy. And if we could get it over to this hill over here, maybe we could use it as a nice little artillery position and just fire away. This guy's already on a hill, so I'm not going to move him, but I am going to use him to open up on the veteran pike and shot here. Let's go ahead and fire. Nice, 4 men down. We don't know if they're wounded or dead, and obviously we'll only find out at the end of the battle, but it's good to think that we killed a few of their guys, and either way we took guys out of the battle. Let's move these guys up, and I'm thinking I should limber these guys, so let's do that. Can we limber them? Maybe with light guns we could just move? I'm very confused about that. Anyway, we'll figure it out as time goes. This here. There we go. That makes sense. Okay. As for these cavalry units, like I said, we're going to continue going towards the woods. So let's keep moving. And obviously these dunes are very easy to run across. It's just open sand, and horses seem to like that for now. Obviously, for a human to run on this, it's a lot harder. And not easy on the men. You know, having to move up these dunes just to attack the enemy units, it's not going to be easy. So we have to hope that our men have good shooting, and that once they get there, they're not completely tired out. Let's end the turn here and see if the shooting is going to be done. Yes! Definitely some shots fired from the enemy. The melee phase is going to have absolutely nothing happen, and the Spanish are going to keep their positions. I guess they have no interest in getting off that hill, and who can blame them? They know they're in a nice spot, and there's no reason to change that. Let's see if we can respond with some fire. Most of our ships are firing. Looks like our command shot is also shooting at the enemy. Sadly, not really getting any hits, but our cannons are doing very well. Alright, here we go, guys. This is the chance we have to go ahead and use these Dragoons to the best of their ability. So let's move them here, and I'm going to open fire here on the enemy. I'll also move these guys up, and I don't think we can charge this turn. Maybe we can. Let's see. Boom! The enemy's actually going to start evading. This is a very good start for our cavalry attack, but I don't think we brought enough men up for the attack. Let's hope that we have, and let's make sure to stick to the forest, because the enemy cavalry is also here, and they could easily hit us now. So I'm going to keep moving forward. French musketeers as well. We'll move them here. And if we could engage this unit, I will, but sadly, we're not going to be able to do it this turn. Nonetheless, we can get the rest of these guys out of the way and start moving these veteran horse. Actually, I didn't even mean to do that. I would rather just move the spearman unit up, but nonetheless, we are going to move the spearman unit up to deal with this right flank here, because I don't want their spears getting into conflict with our horses. Let's see. Can we open fire here? I believe we can. We certainly will. So we're going to try to damage that unit as much as we can. Nice. Just moving up slowly, guys. I'm not trying to be crazy. I don't want to take a risk. I just want to take my time and move up here and hopefully defeat the enemy fairly quickly. Alright. Nice reactionary shot there by the enemy. I can't blame them. And we will send this guy off to the right flank as well. I'm going to go ahead and try to hit this unit of detached musketeers, because they look like they're about to break. But they're still holding it together, just barely, of course. Actually, this spearman unit should be in a better position. Opening fire on the veteran tercios, and look at that beautiful shot right through the side. Obviously, they don't have as much defense back there. And I'm going to move the veteran pike and shot up. I think I can get a shot off here. 13. Not as good, obviously, because these guys, the detached musketeers, have higher shooting, actually. Do they have higher shooting? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I guess that's just chance. What can you do? And let's go ahead and turn towards the veteran tercios with these guys. I always like to face the right direction, obviously, and we will open fire. Now, as far as the cavalry here, I'm not so sure about what I should do. I think if we could break this spearman unit, we're going to be in a much better position, and then the cavalry attack may actually work. So I'm going to try to force the enemy, essentially, to get into close combat with my cavalry and see if that makes any difference. Maybe we can pull this unit out, deal with them, and keep moving forward, but we will start a sort of charge over here with the cavalry units. We'll go ahead and keep moving forward with our cannon. Let's see. I think we could get a little closer, but you know what? I'm going to unlimber here, because we need this thing to start firing as soon as possible. Forward, men! Guess these cavalry units can go behind our men. Maybe our men will serve as a screen so the enemy can't see us. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because we're on open ground here in the dunes, and we are just basically visible from just about anywhere. What about this guy? Keep going. And we'll try to get the light cannon over here. Maybe he can hit the detached marksman. I don't think so, because we obviously have a lot of guys on the way. But let's move forward even more. Alright, so far, so good. We'll go ahead and wrap up here with our cavalry moving off to the right flank. I think I made the right call here, and hopefully they can get there in time to provide some real reinforcement to our initial attacking force, or I should say flanking force of cavalry, because we're going to ram right into the enemy here and absolutely annihilate them and take them off these dunes. But before that happens, we will end the turn, allow the enemy to do their residual shooting phase, see how they're going to affect us. Looks like they have some pretty good shots, and all units are finally seeing each other and engaged in definite sort of musket combat in this case. They just hit our guys, our cavalry here, pretty hard. One of our cavalry units anyway. Let's hope that doesn't affect us too much. Alright, we've got some great reactionary fire there, and I've got to say our men are doing a pretty good job too, but they're taking a lot of nasty hits here for sure. As you can see, this nice, huge unit of French musketeers just got disrupted, and it looks like the enemy isn't standing for our cavalry attack. However, we actually managed to make their men fall back. And as you can see, the enemy casualties were 21, ours were only 6. So we're doing okay at withstanding their attacks. Let's see if we can actually make this work. As you can see, their spearmen are now turned towards our cavalry, and I know they're not going to hesitate to attack them. Over here, things aren't going so well for our cavalry. They are charging with theirs as well, and it's going to be a bloody fight on both ends. It's just going to be a nasty cavalry clash for both sides. All right, let's see. I believe it's our turn for residual shooting, guys. Obviously, our cannons on our ships are going to open up, and look at this redcoat infantry. It's just doing so well at shooting. And if we can keep that sort of volley of fire up, we're going to be doing very well in this battle. Melee phase is up, and we actually do have some melee conflicts for this turn. Very indecisive battle, but obviously this unit is eventually going to be fragmented, and there we go. Sure enough, the enemy unit, 21 of our guys were down, and they are stuck at this point. Anyway, guys, I hope you're enjoying this series. I wanted to bring back Pike and Shot, and I'm very glad to see these user-generated maps. So if you'd like to see more, make sure to comment down below, rate, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, have an awesome day. Take care.